Hey guys, what's up? This is Mark Yoon. I'm a special guest on AashanAnimeArt's channel today. Thank you for having me. We thought it would be fun if I did the introduction because it would throw you guys off. But anyway, we're going to be talking about a few different things today, including misconceptions in the Dragon Ball community, which I think is an important topic. My name is Mark Yoon. You can find me at MarkYoonArt on YouTube, and you can also find me on Twitter at MarkYoonArt also. I'm sure Ashan will have the description to my channel and my stuff in his description box. So
yeah, I would just like to say that this is part 2 of a 2-part video that I'm doing with Mark here. So first of all, if you're watching this video, I would like you to go to Mark's channel and first watch his video and then come back here. So you would get a pretty good idea of what we are doing.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to be lost. Yeah, this is definitely part 2.
Yeah. So first off, we would like to start with the misconceptions in the Dragon Ball fandom. A lot of that is spread on websites, on very huge websites, and one of them is the one that we recently saw, like it was, I guess, Caulifla smiling out at Goku, and the post was that since Caulifla gave a smile to Goku, so now both of them are in some sort of relationship, which is really stupid.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, like, you're smiling at me right now. Does that mean that we're gonna date next week? I guess.
Yeah. That's what actually. Yeah, that's what the post said actually.
So, I mean, I have this way of thinking that I learned about in philosophy that I want to share for a second that deals with this. There's like 3 main compartmentalizations for thinking. There is gullibility, which is number 1, which means you'll pretty much believe anything. And then there's skepticism, which is where everyone should be, where we question everything and we need evidence for everything that is presented to us. And then there is conspiratorial thinking, which you don't want to go to, which is when gullibility and skepticism marry each other. So it means that you're skeptical of too much of everything, so you create your own world and you link dots that aren't connected. And unfortunately, a lot of us in the Dragon Ball community are definitely in the latter part of that. We have a base knowledge, and then we hear some garbage trash news or see like a picture that somebody drew that's good enough to make us think it's a screenshot, and all of a sudden, I mean, look, this whole new transformation of Goku, the Limit Breaker, went crazy because we saw a promotional poster where, in my opinion, it just looks like Goku powering up, and to be honest.
Yeah. And even there was a few weeks ago, there was a post from even GameSpot, which was hated by a lot of users, and a picture of a Super 4 Goku in yellow hair, and they were saying that this is Goku's most strongest form. That is what was said on GameSpot, which was total and utter BS. I mean, it really frustrates me to see that even such big websites wouldn't do their homework and just put out some bloggers blog on such a big website and show so many people.
I mean, it's opportunists. That's what it is. Because, for instance, I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, right? I don't watch Game of Thrones. I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes, but it's not really my thing. And if I decided to study and research that for one day to write an article about it, I would get so many things wrong, like that, to the point where like people would think I'm crazy and that I hate Game of Thrones. But opportunists know that Dragon Ball Super is as popular, well, it's around the same popularity, maybe not as much as it was in the 90s. So they're trying to pump out these articles and pump out this information because they know that it's going to get clicks and likes. They know that people are going to click on it because the Dragon Ball community is vast. I mean, it's a really big community.
Yeah, exactly. And these misconceptions are, more in the Dragon Ball fandom. And I actually blame a little bit the Dragon Ball series creators for it as well, because unlike Naruto, they don't give us explanations for everything, and that leads into fans making theories and stuff, and that's how these misconceptions actually these theories actually become sort of laws and proofs, and in the fandom although they aren't, and then these further lead into misconceptions in the community.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially like different from Kishimoto's Naruto series. Like, I remember when I first saw Goten and Trunks, I didn't understand why they didn't have tails. And you literally had to dive into like the Daizenshu or like the perfect files or anything. You had to go out of the anime and search for the answer of why they don't have them anymore. But in the meantime, people that didn't do that just made stuff up, and it got spread. I mean, like I remember back when I first watched that, probably in like 1995, the Boo Saga. People were like, "Oh, well, I just don't think they have tails anymore," or maybe maybe they're like more Earthling than they're Saiyans, and they can't go Super Saiyan. People are just making stuff up, and they didn't have any idea.
Yeah, exactly. People actually started saying that Toriyama said in an interview that he forgot about the tails, where actually there is no interview like that. If you go and search up all Toriyama's interviews, there's not even a single interview where he actually said that he forgot about the tails.
Yeah, there's a couple of those misconceptions like that. Like, I remember they said, how come they never show the romance between, like, Goku and Chi-Chi, or Vegeta or Yamcha and Bulma? And, like, I remember a lot of people were saying, well, Akira Toriyama just isn't good at drawing girls, or he's just not good at drawing romance. And I'm like, it's never he's never come out and said that. You know what I mean? Like, and he trolls a lot too, so he does say joking statements a lot, and people take him completely serious. And I'm like, you're talking about an author that specifically does comedy anime and comedy manga, and like you can't, you know what I mean?
The most latest troll was in the Universe 6 arc, the Monaka one, when we all thought that Monaka is this super strong character, and all of a sudden we know that he's just a nobody.
I mean, I kind of knew he was going to be a nobody, but that's only because I've been with Dragon Ball so long that I know the writing and the direction that it usually goes in. And all my friends were like, oh my gosh, they were like, oh no, he's going to be stronger than Beerus, and like Goku's not going to be able to stop him, and like he's going to be the main villain. I'm like, do you see the size of his nipples? He's just a joke character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can see the joke characters like physically, like.
Yeah, exactly. So now, coming on to our next topic, which is stealing art and art theft, and this is, a really major problem in the fandom, once they see an art piece that really looks good, they would start questioning it. I mean, questioning it isn't bad, but jumping to direct conclusions of it, that, the author didn't make this art piece without actually, researching properly on it, on the post, that is the really bad thing about the fandom.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. As an artist myself, I deal with that a lot as well. Especially since, because of my job, I've had to go away from pencils and markers, and I've had to go into pretty much digital all the time, because that's what my bosses want. They want digital artwork because it looks professional. And when I went into that arena, I've noticed so many more people calling me an art thief, and so many more people asking like for works in progress and whatnot, which I understand. But I mean, like, it's like the original art exists, which means somebody can create it. So to just be arrogant enough to call somebody out and say that they didn't do something, even though you don't know that person, you don't know their skill level. Like, you wouldn't go to Jim Lee and say, hey, Jim Lee, you didn't draw that, like, Batman cover. Like, nobody would ever do that. Yeah. And he's just a normal person like we are, you know what I mean? So I don't understand. So we were talking about before just being polite about it. Like, instead of just calling somebody an art thief, how about you ask them, hey, this is really good, but I've seen it before. I was just wondering if you knew about that. And be like, and we would say, oh, did you see it on DeviantArt? Because that's my DeviantArt account. Or, oh, did you see it on Google Images?
Yeah, because people, they would just, right-click on the image and search it on Google right away. And as soon as they just see, okay, that picture is on Google, they would say, okay, that's not your art because it's on Google. And that's really a stupid thing that, even pictures even come up. Like, if, for example, I put up my, image, for example, just an hour ago, it might not pop up on Google, but for example, if Mark, you're a famous artist on DeviantArt, and if you even favorited my image on DeviantArt, that on Google, it will come up through your account. So people might think, okay, it was this artist from Mark, but Ashan is claiming it, and that's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. People do not go into the exact source of where the art came from.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. Like, they come up with different search engines, and it'll just, because search engines are bots, so all they search for is keywords, and they search for like because everything is ones and zeros on the internet, so everything has its own unique like VPN like code, and that code is going to be wherever it's shared to. So if somebody downloads the image and reposts it, it's going to show up as theirs. If somebody likes it or shares it, it's going to show up as theirs. That's just that's just how it is. Like, for instance, if you search for if you look at for the thumbnail of this video on Google, it might show up as MarkYoon. Even though this isn't my video, it's Ashan's video, it'll still show up under me for a search.
Yeah, because there are certain keywords, like I'll have Mark's description in my video as well. So Google will search for those keywords and put it as Mark. But people won't know if until people don't search for the exact source, they won't know that, you know, this is my video.
Yeah, I mean, the even our Deviantart accounts, they're probably, if we're following each other, I don't know if we are following each other on Deviantart, actually.
Yeah, I don't know that as well.
We should be, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But once you're linked to another account like that, that stuff does happen. That stuff does pop up. I mean, that's why a lot of people have their accounts set to privacy, so that kind of stuff doesn't happen. And even still, it still happens, because computers, they're not perfect either. They make mistakes, so.
Yeah, exactly. So the last topic that we are going to talk about is piracy, actually, and I would like Mark to start on piracy.
All right, don't do it. So, I mean, there's reasons why you don't want to do it. For preservation, not only of our community but for ourselves. We were talking about last time. Me and Ashan had a good conversation, a long conversation about this. About how a lot of the episodes aren't even finished being edited or being done until like an hour or maybe possibly, you know, half an hour before the episode actually airs in Japan. And I mean, if we don't have a chance, like if we don't give them the money through their normal prescription services, if we pirate it, they're not going to have that extra money to pay the extra animators or give them extra time to work on things or give them extra tools. So we're really just stabbing ourselves in the foot, because like even the anime that we love is going to be worse or maybe even end. Like, I remember Dragon Ball GT literally ended on episode 64 early. It wasn't supposed to end that early, not because of ratings, but because of funds. Like, Toei Animation couldn't allocate any more funds for Dragon Ball GT, and they were moving on. I mean, so all the people that say that, like, oh, I want Super to be as long as Dragon Ball Z, okay, well, we got to give them the money, so you got to go to places like Funimation.com, and you got to stream from Crunchyroll.com. None of these other, I'm not going to name the other sites because I don't want to give them traffic, but you have to go to the actual official ones.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, a lot of my Asian friends, you know, they come up to me and they would be like, you know, we can watch them on Crunchyroll or any other free legal website as well, because those aren't available in our country. But you know, the thing is that in most of Asia, if those websites are not available on your country, Dragon Ball Super is actually being shown on Toonami Asia in dubs and in dubs actually. And so if you can't watch it online, you can watch it on your television set.
Yeah, I mean, there is ways to get around that. Like, if you're computer literate, you can set up an alternate VPN address from your computer, and you can get international things that way. Like, for instance, I have like a Chinese PlayStation account as well as my American and Japanese one, because they get games early, and sometimes I don't care about, because the Hong Kong versions have English subtitles anyway, so I can download that if I want, like for Dead or Alive Extreme Beach 2, for instance, which didn't even come to our country. It was supposed to, but it didn't last minute. So there are ways around it, but like Ashan said, you could just go on TV or simply buy the DVDs, and we're not talking like not even the current ones. Like, you can go on like a lot of YouTubers also have affiliate links, so you can like click on their affiliate link through like Amazon or eBay or something and purchase something. Then you'll be helping not only your favorite YouTuber, but you're also helping the community as a whole. Go through direct sources though. I wouldn't purchase from third party people, because they often don't get the money if you buy from third party. So if you're doing Amazon, make sure it's from Prime, or make sure it's from the like Funimation or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, closing out on this topic, and the reason that we're actually closing out so quickly is because my mobile is actually at 5% of battery right now. Yeah. So, I would just like you all to say, I wanted to say to all of you that, have a really good day. Check out Mike's Twitter. He's a really, really good artist. Check out his YouTube channel. And first of all, it's the end of the video, but, you should actually go and check out Mark's the part 1 of the video where we actually had this discussion. And in the comment section, if you have any questions, and even if you like this video, hit the like button. And also, if you want us to do further more videos like this, and if you really like the content that we put up today, just tell us the topics that you would like it, and we would discuss more on it, and we would put it up on our channels for you to watch.
Even other anime, because we have other interests outside of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly. And art isn't talked about a lot on YouTube. So if you want even art discussions, since me and Mark both are artists, so we can talk a lot about that as well.
Yeah, I would add. Yeah, there's so much we can go into about art specifically. We can even do how-to and tutorials.
Yeah. So since Mark did the intro of the video, I would like him to close out on this.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with us today, and thanks for getting into us with this intriguing topic that's always mass confused with multiple other things.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out Ashan's other videos, and be sure to check him out on his other social media platforms, as well as myself. And we want to thank you again for staying with us, and as always, stay powered up, guys.